Welcome to my latest video, and the tank is about 7.5 months. So it's developing quite nicely. As you can see, I've got loads of bubble algae all across the rocks. And I've actually got some, I don't know if it's green hair algae or brown hair algae, probably a mix of the two on the sand bed. And that's just beginning to clear. But the good news is the corals are looking really, really good. So that to me is more important than anything else. If the coral's looking good and the fish are healthy, then actually the rest of the stuff you can sort out. And the latest addition, about 6 weeks ago, is bubble tip anemones. So I've got this beautiful nem there, and it's really started to bubble up, which is quite nice. The only thing is when they bubble up, the tentacles on them seem to be a little bit shorter. But loving that, and eventually this whole tank is going to be full of nems, but that's going to take quite a bit of time. And I've had to move some corals onto the sand bed because they've just continuously moved. And you can see this blasto here just recovering, got stung a little bit, and it was positioned. You can just see, up here, that's where it was before. But I come home from work and found that the nem was all over it, so I moved it. Candy canes are looking good. Now, bearing in mind, these candy canes have been constantly had the nems all over them, and the nem was actually on the stem of that candy cane now, and it looks fine. And there's the other nem now. That's a bright pink, and it is as bright as it's coming out in the video. And the avatar and the war coral are doing really, really well. And then I added here bubble coral, which is doing really, really well. And the acan's looking the best it has since I set up this tank. So absolutely chuffed with how that's come out. So really pleased with the corals. And then on the sand bed there, I've got a torch. I didn't want to put that on the rock work because I didn't really want to get it stung, because I think that will get stung quite easily by them. And then down here is a rainbow chalice that I've put in here probably about a month ago. It's just colouring up quite nicely. See the yellows in it, the reds and the blues. Haven't seen any greens come out. I think it's just really adjusting. Lost a bit of colour when I first put it in there, which is only natural because you're talking about completely different conditions. And then down here, you can see all the algae on the sand bed. And I wonder if it's because of the flow. It's just not getting enough flow around here. So I wonder if gunk is just collecting on the sand bed and that's not helping. So I'm gonna have to find a way of dealing with that. It's the peppermint shrimp, still hanging around doing its thing. Added a conch and that seems to be doing quite well. So quite pleased with that. And then as for the fish, got the pair of clownfish. See them doing their thing as they do. Coloured up really nicely. And then you've got here, well they've both gone away, there's the orchid dotty back. Absolute stunning fish. As I move around here, they've moved around the other side, but you can see there, that dotty back, and there's a cherub angel as well. Now, the orchids are known to be quite aggressive, but I haven't really seen any aggression. And there's the cherub. I've got some algae on the back there, but the cherub just constantly pecks at that, so I'm not really fussed about it, because at least I can let it graze all day long. And I've got to say, whether I, choose between a fish being healthy and the tank being slightly ugly, I take fish being healthy every day of the week. And it doesn't bother me, the algae on there, because I can see how well the corals are doing and also the fish. And I'd take that any day of the week compared to a tank that looks fantastic, as in no algae, no bubble algae, but the fish are looking poor and the corals looking poor. But those LPS are looking really, really good. So this area is bare all around here, and I'm going to get some more nems in the next couple of weeks. Now, the nems are actually going towards the back of the tank, and I think it's because of this. If you look at that light, it is not straight. The angle of it is shining a lot of light on the back of the tank. So I think that's what's driving the algae on the back, and also I think the nems have moved to that position because the light isn't what it needs to be there. So what I need to do is adjust that lighting. I don't know how that comes to be like that. It's not at the right angle, because that should be straight and giving the light straight down the middle. Not too sure. And then the other thing, I'm going to have to replace the auto top off. This keeps them getting blocked. So it's working on a float valve, and it's either sliming up a little bit at the bottom now, or where that's in the water all the time. It's, even though, I mean, it sits there like that, and then when the water's low, it goes in and releases the water. But it keeps them getting clogged. I mean, I've used something similar to this on the Red Sea Reef for 450 for, well, the whole time I had it, which was, what, 6.5 years, and it got blocked maybe about twice. This is getting blocked every week. So I'm gonna have to invest in a auto top off. So I haven't got one yet. There's a bit of rock rubble there. And then what I'm gonna do, underneath here, I just bought this container. So that's a 14 litre container. Probably wanted something slightly smaller than that, but it's okay. I mean, I don't really need much, you know. I've got the plug sockets on the left. Need to tidy up a little bit there. Got the heater there, heater controller. So I just need to put that on the left there because I don't really want it around the water. But that's quite a nice unit, 14 litres. That will probably last about 2 weeks, maybe just under. So that'll be ideal. Whereas at the moment I'm topping it up every 2 days, I'll be topping it up every 2 weeks. So there we have it. The Red Sea Max Nano Peninsula tank, progressing really, really nicely. Need to get more NEMs in it, especially around the front. Might need to have a bit more flow, but the NEM seems to be quite happy at the moment, and I definitely need to adjust that light. But overall, I'm really happy with the fish and the corals in there, even though the sand and the rock work is a little bit ugly. And you can't really get away from that fact, but hey, who cares? Those fish are absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, thanks for watching.